You know that feeling when you walk into a room and that anxious voice in your mind instantly starts? Do they like me? Am I coming across weird? Did my joke land? Your stomach tightens and you start performing. You laugh a little too loud. You start agreeing a little too fast, or you shrink yourself so nobody notices you. That's social anxiety, and if that's you, I've got something to tell you today that's going to completely change how you see it, and I'll also show you how to overcome it. Social anxiety isn't just a fear, it's actually a little bit narcissistic. Once you understand why, you'll have the key to overcoming it. My name's Henry, and I coach analytical men to build confidence and overcome their anxiety. Make sure to subscribe. I struggled with social anxiety for a long time. I know what it's like to feel invisible in a group and not know why. I know what it's like to walk into a party and immediately scan the room and then later replay a conversation at like 2 a.m. wondering if you said something stupid. But I found a way to overcome my social anxiety using a specific mindset that changed everything for me, as well as changed everything for the guys I coach. But here's the thing, when I first heard this idea, it was a bit difficult to accept. Let me explain. See, social anxiety is the fear of what other people think about you. You might think, I hope I don't embarrass myself. I hope she thinks I'm cool. Now here's the thing that most people miss. Social anxiety is actually slightly narcissistic. Before you click off, hear me out, because this isn't an insult. It's actually the most empowering reframe I've ever come across. When you have social anxiety, you need other people to validate you, right? You need them to like you. You need their approval to feel okay about yourself. And I want to focus on the word need. Social anxiety puts you in a kind of survival mode. Your heart races, you start sweating, your body is basically looking for a way out of the danger. And the danger it's trying to escape is the possibility that someone might not like you. And here's the key, your brain looks for a way out by using other people. It outsources the job of making you feel okay to strangers, to people at the party, to the girl you just met, or to your colleagues. You're handing the remote control of your self-worth to someone else, which then makes you desperate for them, obviously, to press the buttons which validate you. But then how is this related to narcissism? Well, here's where it gets interesting, because narcissism actually comes in two completely different flavors, and the one I'm referring to has been hiding in plain sight your entire life. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Now, when most people hear narcissism, they think of the loud, arrogant guy who thinks he's better than everyone else. They don't really think of the person who's suffering from social anxiety, right? Rather the opposite, they think of the guy who needs to be at the center of attention. Right, and that's what I call yang narcissism, from yin and yang. It's the loud, extroverted type. But there's another kind which I call yin narcissism. Yin narcissism is quieter. It's the strategy of getting attention and validation just how the loud guy does it, but by not being loud, but by doing the opposite, by making yourself small, by shrinking, by acting like a helpless victim who needs to be saved, who needs validation. When you have social anxiety, you're trying to get people to like you because their opinion feels like it controls your self-worth. So you try to desperately get their approval. People do this in very different ways. Perhaps you try to act cool to impress people. Maybe you agree with everything someone says so they don't reject you. Or you go quiet in groups because you're terrified of saying the wrong thing and then being judged for it. Or maybe you over-explain yourself in conversations, trying to make sure everybody understands you correctly, just to fit in. All of that is the same thing. It's manipulating your environment by acting small, weak, and helpless to get validation from others, instead of actually just giving it to yourself. That is yin narcissism, which social anxiety falls under. Before we move on, let me know which type of narcissism do you relate with most? Going quiet and small in groups, which is the yin narcissism version, or overperforming and being loud and trying to impress people, which is the yang narcissism. You can think of it like this. Yang narcissism says, look at me, look at how awesome I am. And yin narcissism says, please help, look at how much of a victim I am. Okay, now that you see the trap, let me show you the mindset shift which will liberate you from social anxiety. Social anxiety is selfish because when you're socially anxious, you get to sit back and let other people give you the validation you seek. You wait for somebody else to compliment you, you wait for somebody else to include you in the group conversation, or you wait for somebody else to make you basically just feel good. Whereas the courageous thing, the thing that will actually make you a confident man, is to take that job back, to give the validation to yourself, to make yourself feel good enough, to own your self-worth, independent of what anybody else thinks. This is what separates confident men from nice guys. Confident men validate themselves, whilst nice guys wait for others to do it. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Henry, that sounds great in theory, but you don't know what it feels like when my anxiety actually hits. And you're right. So let me address that head on, because the practical side of this is where it gets really good. By the way, if this thinking is landing for you, I write a weekly newsletter where I go even deeper into this stuff. I give you frameworks, mindset shifts, real stories from the guys I coach. Link is in the description, check it out. Alright, so you understand the problem. Now let's talk about the actual fix. And I'm going to give you 3 specific questions that my clients use to snap out of the anxiety in real time. So how do you actually make the shift from anxious and dependent on other people's opinions to confident and self-sufficient? It all comes down to one principle. Take full responsibility for how you are feeling. If you walk into a room and your stomach drops, your hands get clammy and your mind starts racing, that's your responsibility, not the room's, not other people's. Yours. And you might think, Henry, that sounds impossible. When my anxiety kicks in, I can't just turn it off. I hear you. Social anxiety feels visceral. It's intense. But here's the shift I teach the men in my coaching practice, which really makes all the difference. Instead of waiting for your anxiety to go away or waiting for somebody else to make you feel better, ask yourself these questions. What can I do right now to make myself feel strong inside? How can I make myself feel good enough right now? Or how can I get into a positive mood right now? Now, these aren't soft therapy questions. They're quite aggressive redirects, and they're hardcore for a reason. Because in the beginning, you have to be aggressive about this. Your anxiety will feel real and very loud, so your response has to be even louder. And in those anxious moments, tell yourself, if I want to feel confident right now, I will make myself feel confident. Not, oh, I hope somebody says something nice to me, or I hope she finally smiles at me and validates me so I can relax. Instead, repeat in your mind, my mood is my responsibility, nobody else's. That's the practice. That's the mental workout. And yes, it is a workout. It's hard and it's uncomfortable, and that's exactly why most guys don't do it and why most guys stay socially anxious. Because waiting for external validation is comfortable, it's easy, you just get to sit there and hope. Whereas forcing your own confidence and pushing the anxiety aside, that takes real effort. But if you make the shift, here's what will change for you. You'll be able to talk to women without your mind going blank. You'll be able to speak up in a group without your voice shaking, and then without going to bed later replaying the conversations in your head. You'll be able to take up space without fearing judgment. You'll be able to just be yourself essentially without performing. And that is what's available to you. You just have to stop outsourcing your self-worth. And you might again be thinking, Henry, this method of extreme ownership sounds harsh. And you're right, it is, but let me ask you something. Every successful man you admire, the business guy, the athlete, the guy who just seems to have it all together, do you think he got there by spending years in therapy slowly healing his inner child until he finally felt confident enough to take action? Or do you think he took full responsibility for his anxiety, his doubt, his fears, and committed to his goals anyway? Because it's usually the second one. The path of full responsibility is a lot more likely to get you to where you want to be rather than waiting until you feel ready. And you're still anxious because you haven't made that choice yet. You haven't committed to the mental workout of making yourself feel confident. But you can make that choice right now. Do you want to anxiously wait for others to validate you? Or do you want to take responsibility for making yourself feel good? That is the question. And look, if you've made it this far into the video, I already know something about you. You're not the type of guy who just scrolls past and moves on. You're actually trying to figure this out. So let me tell you exactly where to go next, because this is just the beginning. If you want to go deeper into this and truly overcome your social anxiety, I work one-to-one with guys who are serious about breaking out of this pattern, guys who are done with waiting and ready to actually do the work. The results speak for themselves. You can apply for the coaching below, link in the description. And if you're not ready for the coaching yet, my newsletter is the best place to start. Every week I send out the exact frameworks and mindset shifts I use with my clients. It's free and super practical. It'll give you a serious edge. Link in the description. Alright, if this video hit home for you, make sure to subscribe. I put out content like this every week and I don't want you to miss it. And if you know a guy who's dealing with social anxiety, send this video to him. Seriously, it might be exactly what he needs to hear. And drop your answer to my question in the comments below. Are you the guy who goes quiet in groups, or are you the guy who overperforms and tries to impress people and be loud? I'll be reading and replying. I'll see you guys in the next video.